Friday from Amy Donuts, 301 North Van Buren here in Elk City. They're open Monday through Sunday, 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can call in specialty orders, 303-7203. They've got smoothies. They've got donuts. They've got kolaches. Just hammered one of those, and they are so good. Got some glazed donuts this morning. So, Amy Donuts, the official donut sponsor of Donut Friday here at the station, 301 North Van Buren. Tell them you heard about it here on the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Got a convenient drive-through. Open 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. Venmo at ECMOW. Do a monthly contribution to a wonderful organization called Grandma's House. It's the Meals on Wheels program. Grandma's House. It's the new kitchen. One table, one community, one purpose. If you can get on there and donate just like my wife and I have, I would appreciate it, and they would appreciate it. And even more so, the people that are served by Grandma's House would appreciate it. ECMOW, all caps, at ECMOW on Venmo. You're going to ask you for a 4-digit number. It's 0764. If you can't remember that, call them at 225-20 or 5821, 225-5821, and they'll get you lined out. On this last day of January, it is biscuits and gravy, home fries, sliced okra, and a dessert. So, biscuits and gravy, home fries, sliced okra, and dessert. They're open from 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. Regular meals, $8. Senior citizens meals, just $7. It's Grandma's House, 1510 West 9th Street. And it is biscuits and gravy, home fries, and sliced okra, plus a dessert. Carnegie Library still bringing those free books right to you in the Carnegie Caravan right here in Elk City. If you're having trouble reading regular print, call them and ask them about a free program that can help. Did you hear that word free? Free program that can help. For books, 225-0136, 580-225-0136. All righty here. Trying to make it through another hour of talk radio. Yeah, nothing like it. All right, here we go. I'm going to get over here and give you some energy stock prices of note on this Friday morning. Well, we've seen the old prices kind of go up and down. So they're down a little bit today, but still over $65 for WTI. That's down 33 cents to $65.09. That's a February contract out of New York. Brent crude oil futures out of London down 24 cents to $70.47 a barrel. Tocom crude oil in Japan is up 20 yen per kiloliter. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas also in the green, up 10 cents, trading north of $4 at $4.02 per million BTU. RBOB gasoline down 63 cents to $191.37. Heating oil on the New York Mercantile Exchange is up $7.46 to $266 even. Gas oil up $11.25, trading at $725 per metric ton. So a lot of volatility in the prices of oil and natural gas this week. A lot of that, of course, has to do with the winter storm, some of the sanctions, some of the threats for the Iranian side. So, well, there was a blowout well near Blanchard. Residents were evacuated near this Blanchard blowout. The well blowout near Blanchard resulted in the evacuation of some residents late last evening. According to KECO TV News and Facebook, it was late in the afternoon when the Blanchard Fire Department created a one-half mile evacuation area, which included the Winter Creek Golf and Country Club, if you're familiar with where that is over there in that part of the world. The evacuation was near County Road 1340, located between County Street 2970 and County Street 2980. Blanchard Fire Department officials later said they had a half-mile evacuation area set up, which included, again, the Winter Creek Golf and Country Club. 2 shelters were being used for those evacuated from the area. One is in Blanchard and the other is in Naples. The blowout is described, of course, as an uncontrolled release of crude oil and or natural gas. It is an indication that pressure control systems apparently failed. Modern wells have blowout preventers designed to prevent such incidents. They have the potential to be not only dangerous but deadly because a blowout can lead to a catastrophic oil or gas fire. Fortunately, that was not the case with this deal. But I mean, how it is. You got to report the good and the bad. It's that situation where you hate to see it. There's no indication of any injuries or any major damage. I like how this story said, apparently it failed. Well, something failed. I don't know if it was mechanical, if it was human error, what exactly it was. It's a volatile industry, folks. I mean, that's just how it is. You got to, like I said, take the good with the bad. But fortunately, as of right now, no indications of any fatalities or any injuries. And of course, generally, if something like that happens, that's the lead story. And so didn't see anything on that, which is pretty good. Talked about it, that winter storm Fern. Winter storms force, more electric generation. Although petroleum-fired electricity generation accounts for less than 1% of total U.S. utility-scale power generation, it remains a critical fallback fuel in parts of the country during extreme winter weather. During Winter Storm Fern, petroleum temporarily became the dominant electricity source across New England, overtaking the natural gas-fired generation. Okay, as cold temperatures drove demand higher and strained fuel availability, data shows petroleum was the primary power source beginning around midday, January 24th, and continuing through early January 26th, before fluctuating again with a natural gas as conditions stabilized. But New England's total generation capacity stands at 35.5 gigawatts, representing just 3% of the total U.S. generation capacity. However, the region holds a disproportionately large share of the nation's petroleum-fired power capacity, roughly 20% of the U.S. total. Of that petroleum capacity, residual oil-fired boilers account for 58%, or 3.2 gigawatts. Combustion turbine generators, primarily using distillate fuel, fuel oil, account for the remaining 2.3 gigawatts. So the infrastructure allows grid operators to quickly ramp up oil-fired generation when natural gas supplies tighten. We don't use a whole lot of that fuel oil out here in this part of the world, but on the East Coast, it really is something. I mean, there are people that use fuel oil for, to heat their homes. And they just got a gas cap, basically, or fuel cap on the outside of their house, and they just pump that heating oil down in there. My little sister lives up in the New Jersey area, and they lived in a house that had that, and I was like, wow. Anyway, fuel switching units push petroleum output beyond capacity. During the peak of the winter storm Fern, petroleum-fired generation reached nearly 8 gigawatts between January 25th and 26th. Very interesting. Different parts of the country are affected differently by winter storms, and the East Coast, of course, a lot of their issue too is they've just shut down these pipelines to there. They got all this natural gas that's being produced right there, just in that New England area up in the Northeast United States, and they just, greeny weenies are like, hey, we don't want that natural gas until it gets real cold. And, okay, we'll take some of that natural gas. Well, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And as my grandma always used to say, it's not getting what you want. It's wanting it after you get it. Man, isn't that the truth? We talked about that merger between Devon and Coterra Energy, which would be a big one. I mean, that would be a biggie if it does happen. But a report in the Financial Times indicated that the Devon Energy and Coterra Energy are closing in on a nearly $60 billion deal to merge. If it happens, it would be the largest oil and gas marriage in the U.S. shale industry in 2 years. Talks between Devon and Oklahoma City and Coterra of Houston were reported a few weeks earlier. Now, according to the Times, are at an advanced stage. According to the report, the deal could be finalized as early as next week. The report was based on people familiar with the discussions who also warned the talks could also collapse. So there's no ink on the paper yet, is what they're saying. Both firms are heavy players in the Permian Basin, the largest oil field in the country, and a combination of their operations and assets would allow competition against larger rivals. If such a merger were to be accomplished, the creation would create a firm with a value of an estimated $57 billion, a figure that was based on share prices as of yesterday afternoon. By getting together, these shale companies would have greater scale, operational efficiencies, particularly in their core Delaware assets, and more relevant to Wall Street investors, said Andrew Dittmar, analyst within Barris, according to the report by the Financial Times. Details of the talks have not been revealed, so it's unclear whether headquarters would remain in the Devon Tower. The tower is Oklahoma's tallest building, standing 50 stories and 844 feet high. 1.8 million square foot skyscraper was completed in 2012. The merger discussion was first reported by Bloomberg. Since then, shares of both companies have increased. Of course, Devon shares grew by 7%, while Coterra saw a 12% gain. Devon Energy was founded in 1971 by John and Larry Nichols and went public in 1988. The company focuses on shale oil, especially in the Delaware Basin, but is also active in the Williston Basin of North Dakota, Montana, Powder River Basin in Wyoming, and the Eagle Ford of South Texas. Coterra formed out of the 2021 merger of Cabot Oil and Gas and Cimarex Energy. There's a name familiar in this part of the world, Cimarex. We'll take a quick break and be back with more of the Finally Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show right here on 96.5 KECO in a moment.
Thank you just doesn't seem to be enough. There are lots of places to buy cars and lots of places to have them serviced. We are really humbled by the trust you placed in us at Barbara Dyson Ford last year. We don't take it for granted. You're the reason we had a terrific 2025. It was all because of you, and thank you for that. If you need us in 2026, we'll still be in the northeast part of Elk City and online at barbadysonford.net. We'd be honored to serve you this year.
They're expecting me to get whatever task done. To a farmer, a tractor, combine, gets them up and running. He's back in the field, makes some money. Guy in the oil field, their piece of equipment's running again. That makes some money. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oil field or agriculture. So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. You're a oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. If we're competitive on price, we say we'll bring it to you, we'll do whatever it takes to get it to you, make life easier on you, or you can call us to solve a problem. Hey, can you get this? Why wouldn't you? American Hose and Supply, 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123. 303-1123.
Why wouldn't you?
My dad and I don't change our minds easily, but we really wanted better grades on our cotton. So a couple of years ago, we met with Keith and the team at Carson County Gin. I'm cotton farmer Spencer Smith, and my dad is Jimmy Smith. We liked what we heard and saw in that meeting. We liked it a lot. Keith Mixon said he wanted to earn our business, so we gave him a chance, and it paid off. The communication was great through the whole process. They contacted me on a regular basis. When I called them, someone always answered the phone. The cotton came out looking great. Their attention to detail got us a higher grade and a higher price. Turnaround time was excellent, but they made sure to do the job right to get us better, cleaner cotton. And then they helped us sell it for more money. Carson County Gin is located near White Deer, Texas, west of Pampa. You'll find them online if you Google them. Dad and I trust the team at Carson County Gin with our livelihood. They're the kind of people we want to do business with.
Restaurants and feedlots, coffee shops and cafes, grocery stores and convenience stores. The Penny News is there, waiting for you to take it home.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
All righty. Ignorance is truly bliss. And I can tell you straight up, I am one of the most blissful guys you will ever come across. All righty, then. Okay. One Source Control Products, LLC, our newest sponsor on the Exploring Energy radio show. Appreciate Terry and all the good folks down there, as they're the real deal. And they're now open in Weatherford in the old H&C Supply Building, 400 South Access Road. Call them at 580-330-1161. One Source carries a wide range of items for pipe, valves, and fittings, controls, regulators, hydraulic hoses, and fittings. They now have welding supplies plus iron and metal like angle iron, square tubing, channel iron, and such. They also sell consumables such as soap and salt sticks. One Source also does pump repair that can handle any of your pump repairs from methanol to glycol. Their repair technicians work on all Chemray, Tex-Team, and Western pumps. With locations in Elk City, Canadian, Texas, and now in Weatherford, One Source Control Products. You can call them at 330-1161. That's the Weatherford number, 330-1161. 400 South Access Road in the OH&C building there in Weatherford. They have locations again in Elk City, Canadian, Texas, and Weatherford. Find out more online. One Source, the numeral 1, sourceok.com. OneSourceOK.com. Fred Steakhouse, they're your destination for fresh USDA graded beef, ribeyes, New York strips, filet mignon, sirloins are hand cut daily by the in-house butcher. The $4.99 chicken fried steak, famous for that. Hand battered country gravy, house-made mashed potatoes. Freshly baked rolls made daily, fresh salad, soup of the day. 7 kinds of chicken. Talking about grilled, barbecue, teriyaki, mushroom, baja, and, of course, fried chicken. Seafood, maybe that's what you crave. They have that. They've got fish tacos. They've got grilled salmon. They've got grilled or fried shrimp. They've got fried catfish. Fred's also has appetizers, sure to please everyone. Cap off your dining experience with fresh, in-house made desserts at Fred's. They also have a full-service bar. Fred's Steakhouse can host your private event. They're located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City. You can call 243-2100 or order online on the Chow Now app, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And David Allen Guest, one of our great sponsors on the show, just a good friend. This guy, he's the real deal, and I'm not afraid to stump for him. He's been managing minerals and royalties for over 40 years now. It's complicated. It's always changed, and David stays up on top of it. He has the connections. He has the experience. He knows where to look to get you the most out of your royalties. He's also a man you're going to be glad you're doing business with. Truly a man of integrity. A gentle-spoken, well-educated gentleman, I promise you. And if you find yourself in a situation to sell, David's a buyer of royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. Call David Allen Guest, Certified Mineral Manager today, 405-341-8698, 405-341-8698. Okay, back at it here. Just sometimes it seems like everything just happens at once. Well, the Oklahoma legislature is about to get back into session. We've talked a lot about it with, both of our representatives that are reoccurring guests on our show, and also Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. But energy costs are among priorities of Oklahoma House Democrats. Oklahoma House Democrats are out with their policy priorities for the legislative session that begins on, Monday, Oklahoma City. Among them is focus on affordability of utility and energy costs. Energy costs were on the list of priorities revealed this week by the Democratic caucus. as members prepare for the second regular session of the 60th legislature. They said the policy agenda is announced, prioritizes affordability for Oklahoma families and ensuring their paychecks can keep up with everyday life. The House Democrats believe one way to prioritize affordability is to ensure Oklahomans are charged fairly for utility energy costs and by holding corporations accountable. House Bill 3392 by Representative Amanda Clinton, Democrat, Tulsa, directs the Corporation Commission to examine how large industrial projects such as data centers and energy-intensive manufacturing impact our electric grid and ensure that everyday Oklahomans aren't stuck paying for that electricity, especially that electricity they did not ask for, and of which they are not the primary beneficiaries. Oklahoma House Democrat know whether it's going to be groceries, rent, health care, insurance, or child care. The cost of being alive keeps going up, said House Democratic leader Cindy Munson, Democrat, Oklahoma City. Oklahomans are continuously choosing between which needs to be met, such as month, in order to make it to the next payday. It is up to state leaders and lawmakers to do what we can to ensure Oklahomans can support themselves and their families. That starts with giving every working Oklahoman a livable wage and focusing on policies that lower costs. Recently, the Tulsa Area United Way released a report showing nearly 50% of working Oklahoma families are working more than one job and cannot cover basic necessities. While there is an upcoming state question to raise the minimum wage, there are actions legislators can take now. Leader Munson is the primary House author of House Bill 2230, which requires the state minimum wage to be greater of $15 per hour or the federal minimum wage. Insurance and premium rates are also on the rise. Boy, aren't they? House Bill 4286 by Representative Andy Fugate, Democrat, Del City, prohibits an insurance company from using a person's credit score to determine the rates they pay for insurance. The measure is designed to protect hardworking Oklahomans who are being priced out of basic financial stability by an insurance system that punishes people for their credit history rather than their actual risk. I'm going to pause right there because that's a pretty big one right there in my opinion. Okay, I don't think, these insurance companies, good God, they've become, more of a doctor than your doctor. That is ridiculous. And now they're becoming the banker as well as your doctor. There's nothing worse than your doctor telling you need one thing. You go down there to get it that prescription fulfilled or filled, and they tell you, well, the insurance isn't going to pay for it. Well, why would the insurance not pay for it? Well, they don't feel like you need it. Well, they're not my dadgum doctor. And it is so frustrating, and I think that's something that really needs to be looked at. I mean, I have actually been on the phone with an insurance provider and said, "Hey, where'd you get your doctor's degree? I mean, how many years of medical school did you go to? What is your background?" Well, their background is a computer that somebody in their company said, okay, we're not paying for this because this is too expensive. If your doctor thinks that you need it, that insurance company should fill it. That's why you pay premiums, right? And now they're checking your credit score. I mean, I'm going to go back a little bit on this story, too, and I'm going to give you some more of this old short fat man's opinion. But the reason there are a lot of people in Oklahoma that are having to work two jobs is they're living a little too high on the hog. They got to have that big, nice car. They got to have that big, nice house. They got to have their big, nice memberships to country clubs and those kind of things, because it didn't take me long. Well, it took me a while, I guess, as an adult to realize that there is wealth and then there is the appearance of wealth. And that appearance of wealth are those people that want everybody else to think they got a lot of money, so they just get themselves to the hilt in owing. And then when it comes due, they'll just file bankruptcy. 7 years, go again. I mean, it's just ridiculous. If more people would live within their means, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that are struggling, because I know there are. I know there are people out there that are struggling. But when these politicians talk about a lot of these people, most of these people that are going to them and cry and foul are those that pretty self-induced. Live within your means. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's what happened to America. And this isn't a chauvinistic statement, but when they took the moms out of the house and relied on TVs and the internet to raise kids, what do you expect? Of course, the moms left the house because the dads weren't around. We got to get ourselves back into, get our moral compass and get our priorities straight again in this country. It's getting out of control. And I like what these Democrats are saying. I mean, Cindy Munson was on my show, and I was visiting with Nick Archer's dad, Terry, about her and being on the show. That Nick lined that up for me. And at first I was like, but she did state that it's a two-party system in Oklahoma, but the partisanship here in Oklahoma isn't the same as it is up on the hill, up in Washington, the swamp. So I think some of these Democrats have some good ideas. And that's what Nick was saying, or that's what Terry was telling me that Nick does, is he at least listens to what they have to say. Now, you better not come at Nick about the Second Amendment. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, this story goes on to say, but I totally agree that an insurance company shouldn't be able to check your credit score to see if you get insurance coverage or not. That's ridiculous. I'm going to take a quick break and be back with the last half of the Exploring Energy Radio Show right here on 96.5 KECO in a moment.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
So we had a gentleman that had heard our ad on the radio multiple times and had always wanted to try to do the bulk floods with us, but just thought it would be a big hassle. And he just kept putting it off. And finally, we had a salesman go down there and talk to him. And he told us what he needed. We took him a tote of hydraulic oil, tote of motor oil, and a drum of antifreeze. Got it set up for him, and the gentleman said, "That's it." Huh? He goes, "Man, if I'd have known it was this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago." We're kind of like your easy button. We're going to get it done for you, easiest way for you. I guess they think it's difficult, moving in the tanks or totes, whatever you want, getting it set up, getting the hose reels and all that type of stuff set up, pumps. But we do it every day. So, they think it's going to take weeks. But, most times we'll be there that week when they order it, if not, within a couple of days. So they're very surprised at how fast.
Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Milk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse.
He goes, "Man, if I'd have known it was this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago."
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. BABBEL.com.
Hi, it's Andy Taylor. We're living in some very turbulent times. It's easy to get discouraged in the normal course of life, but the good news is God has all the answers. His presence and companionship always makes all the difference. A big part of what we do at Trinity Fellowship is to help people in the process of coming into relationship with the Father. We'd love to help you. Our services start at 10 a.m. on Sunday. You can find us on our Trinity Fellowship Facebook page, or you can listen right here on KECO at 9:30. We'd love to have you be part of our family.
Hey folks, this is EJ Gredeman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
Fence building or welding? John 6 will get her done. 6 Wire Company, 580-497-6213.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
And I'm back. Yeah, got my microphone turned on. It's all good. Well, after hearing a message for a couple years, a farmer finally called and placed an order with Camrock. The company delivered, set up a drum of antifreeze, a tote of hydraulic oil, and a tote of motor oil. The farmer said, if I'd have known it would be that easy, I would have done this a long time ago. Camrock Supply on South Main Street in Elk City. They make it easy. They make it affordable. They understand what it's like to have those kind of operations, and they're not going to saddle you with something that they wouldn't want to be saddled with. That's why you got 3 local guys with local ties doing business with their community. Next to Fred's Steakhouse here in Elk City, South Main Street. Camrock Supply, online, Camrock, CAMRockSupply.com. And sustaining Oklahoma's energy resources, the next opportunity is next week, February the 5th. Smaller procedures face unique challenges. Best practices for well integrity. Join the OERB and BioSqueeze for a workshop focused on well integrity solutions. The workshop will also address how these approaches can help reduce costs, maintain production, and support consistent revenue. It's a Zoom meeting, 11 a.m. for February the 5th. Get yourself registered before February the 4th at close of business. For a complete list or to register for any of SOAR's upcoming educational opportunities, just simply visit www.soer.oerb.com. soar.oerb.com. Top, it says Producer's Education. Click on that, a little drop down. Just select workshops and you're in. You can also navigate through that website and find out all kinds of things the OERB and the SOAR are doing in the state of Oklahoma in our energy industry. Again, best practices for well integrity. Next educational opportunity, free Zoom meeting, 11 a.m. February the 5th. www.soer.oerb.com. Okay, well, our state treasurer, Todd Russ, who's one of us, he's upbeat about the 2026 economy in the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma State Treasurer Todd Russ can't help but be excited about the state of our economy in Oklahoma, especially after receiving reports from December 2025. He says, I'm very, very cautiously optimistic, but I'm pretty excited about seeing what 2026 looks like. He told Casey Shepard, that's that local girl, farm director at the Oklahoma Farm Report, and OK Energy Today's sister. That girl can sing too. Anyway, here is how she reported the story in the latest edition of the Farm Report. State Treasurer Todd Russ says Oklahoma is entering the new year on solid economic footing. As he visited with Farm Director Casey Shepard at the 2026 legislative kickoff about recent trends and what lies ahead. Russ noted that despite higher interest rates over the past few years, Oklahoma's economy has continued to show resilience. If you look back the last 2 or 3 years, when the feds raised the rates, it kind of was like to slow everything down. And Oklahoma just slogged right through, Russ said, adding that the recent economic reports have been encouraging. The reports for December have beat all previous numbers, he said. Russ also highlighted the importance of major agricultural and livestock events across the state, including the Cattlemen's Congress and the upcoming Oklahoma Youth Expo, the OYE. While those events have a particularly strong impact on Oklahoma City, Russ said their benefits extend statewide. It's absolutely fantastic, he said. It's a financial positive. It's an image positive. Its impact is really fantastic, and it just fits really well with Oklahoma. As the legislative session approaches, which starts Monday, Russ told Casey Shepard that his office is not pushing for major changes, instead focusing on monitoring the state's financial health. The treasurer tries to kind of keep an eye on the numbers and keep my head down, Russ said. He noted there may be requests to clean up language on a few things, but emphasized that upcoming certifications from the Board of Equalization will help set the stage for the session. Looking ahead, Russ expressed confidence in the state's financial position, pointing to substantial reserves. And he says this: if you add them all together, we still get close to $4 billion in reserves, he said. Overall, Russ said he remains optimistic. I'm very, very cautiously optimistic, he said again. But I'm pretty excited about seeing what 2026 looks like. Good. That's good news. That's good news. I mean, you got to be cautiously optimistic. You can't go into this situation with rose-colored glasses and think, hey, the money's always going to be coming in. Got to save back for a rainy day, and that seems like what Oklahoma's doing, and that's good. That's good. There's a lot of states that are in a real financial bind. Well, we talk a lot about these data centers. Well, the Sand Springs data center wins rezoning support. Last story I did on them is they had gone to get a tract of land rezoned. The developer of that proposed data center in Sand Springs cleared another key hurdle this week after the city's planning commission approved that rezoning request tied to the project. Okay, this is the Google hyperscale data center we're talking about here. Proposal, it now heads to the Sand Springs City Council, which is expected to take up the issue during its February 3rd meeting next week. The council's vote would represent the final local approval requirement for this big project. The Planning Commission approved the rezoning request on a 6-1 vote during a special meeting held in the packed high school cafeteria. The Project Springs site encompasses roughly 826 acres along Highway 97 north of Sand Springs. The property was annexed into the city in 2025 and is currently zoned for agricultural use. The approved change would reclassify the land as light industrial. The majority of those who attended the meeting urged commissioners to reject the rezoning, citing concerns about energy use, water consumption, and the long-term impacts of a large-scale data center operating near residential areas. Representatives for Google and White Rose Partners, the Dallas-based data center developer behind Project Spring, said those concerns had been addressed. White Rose Partners, working alongside SLS Consultants, told commissioners the project would not increase utility costs for nearby residents and would operate independently of surrounding neighborhoods. And I quote, "These data centers do have significant economic benefits and real impacts, not just at the data center for those employees or for Google, but for the broader regional economy here," said Kate Franco, a public affairs specialist for Google data centers, during her presentation to the commission. The development team said construction would begin as early as 2027 if final approvals are granted. Of course, this organized opposition remains. Opposition to the project has, coalesced under the Project Sand Springs Alliance, led by President Kyle Schmidt. He told commissioners that many residents were only recently exposed to the realities of large-scale data centers. "Most of us learned everything that we know about data centers last November," Schmidt said. "We had heard the term thrown around at prior campus, and we kind of knew, but we didn't know the impact or how big it would really be, the kind of energy consumption it would have, or the potential water impact." Schmidt added that the residents were forced to quickly educate themselves once the proposal emerged locally. raising questions about whether the community had adequate time to evaluate the long-term implications. So, the Planning Commission's recommendation now in place, the rezoning, the Sand Springs City Council will make the final determination on whether the rezoning and the Google Link data center project can move forward. It's my opinion that it will move forward. I mean, I know there are some negative Nancy's out there, and how much time is enough time? How much time is enough time? The way I understand it, Google said, hey, if you want to go tour one of our data centers, we can show it to you. Okay? And they said it's going to operate independent of local neighborhoods. Technology continues to get better and better on the cooling processes. And of course, like Nick Archer pointed out, it depends on what kind of data center what kind of water system they use. There are some that use more than others. The indication that I got from some of the research that I've done is that the larger data centers have a more economical cooling system than the smaller ones. And so with Google saying, listen, we're going to generate our own electricity. It's not going to pull off the grid of the local neighborhoods. And with the approval of the rezoning, they wouldn't have approved that rezoning if they weren't pretty sure they were going to go ahead and do this data center up in Sand Springs. That's my personal opinion, but I would imagine that that's going to get an approval, and it's going to go forward. I am not opposed to data centers. I think that the research needs to be done by these data centers to find out where the best place to put one is, just not willy-nilly like, okay, oh, you get a data center, and hey, you get a data center, and hey, over here, you get a data center. I think it needs to be thought out. There are places for those in Oklahoma, and we're going to have them, or they're going to go to every other state. I mean, that's the bottom line. Do some research. Find out yourself. I mean, there's none the closest one I think has been proposed around here is the Yukon and the one down near Lawton. So, maybe the Chickasha area. That would be the closest to western Oklahoma, west of I-35. So, we'll wait and continue to see. Don't you dare go anywhere. We'll be back with the mop-up segment of the Exploring Energy Radio Show, finally Friday edition, right after this.
Exploring Energy Show.
A generator is something that is out of sight and out of mind until you actually need it. Do you own a generator? Is it serviced and ready to provide backup power when you need it? A well-maintained generator gives you peace of mind during a power outage. Whether it's home or commercial, all generators need to be serviced regularly. Culver Electric provides reliable generator service all over western Oklahoma. Call today and discuss a service plan to fit your needs at 580-243-5846. See us on Facebook or go to culverelectric.net.
Need to dig it? Then it's time to rent it. But call 811 first and then head on over to DJ's Rentals and Sales and let their knowledgeable staff help you get it started. Whether it's a backhoe, a post hole digger, a mini excavator, or a skid steer that you need to help make that job a little easier. You can find them all and more at DJ's Rentals and Sales, 911 South Main Street in Elk City. Text them on the text line at 580-799-7214. Find and follow them on Facebook. And don't forget to call 811 first.
Looking for the perfect venue for your next event? Look no further than the Frisco Center, located in the heart of western Oklahoma. Whether it's a stunning wedding, a joyful reception, a memorable birthday party, or a professional seminar, we've got you covered. With spacious rooms and exceptional service, Frisco Center is designed to make your special occasion unforgettable. Located at 101 South 4th Street in Clinton, Oklahoma. Call us today at 580-323-7874 to book your date. The Frisco Center, where every event is a reason to celebrate.
This is Shawn with Galleria Furniture. Right now, we've got an incredible offer on the Hudson collection. This leather sofa has all the features: a drop-down table with storage, power recline, touch puck lighting, and even Apple charging tray with USB charging. And here's the bonus. When you purchase the sofa and the love seat, you'll get the matching leather power recliner for free. That's over $1,000 in savings. Located in Elk City next to Tractor Supply, where friends don't let friends pay retail.
One of the computers here at the station was crashing, about to lose everything on it, and we didn't even know it. But Dennis knew because he was watching, and he warned us in time.
Hey Gabe, it's Dennis. Our system detected that one of your computers has a hard drive that's about to fail.
Which one?
It's Nathan's.
So what do I need to do?
Well, we probably need to get it in the shop and get the drive cloned to a new machine before he loses any data off of it.
Do you have another computer in stock that we can just get it fixed real quick?
Sure, we've got some in stock. Just need to get it in, get it cloned over, and it'll be good to go.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dennis.
You bet, sounds good. See you.
ITL monitors our computers at Paragon Communications remotely, so Dennis Teal knows there's a problem before we even know it. He helped us save years' worth of valuable files. ITL's remote monitoring comes in very handy here at work. That kind of security system for your computers can keep your business running so you can keep making a living.
We rent most everything, from backhoes to mowers to lifts and chainsaws. DJ's Rentals and Sales, 225-1400 on South Main in Elk City.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
All right, help has arrived. My lovely assistant has joined me in the studio. I'm going to try to keep both microphones on. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm going to do that like one day in a row. You know what I'm saying? So,
keep it short.
There you go. All righty. You're on location or you're out in the pasture and you stop dead in your tracks. You busted a hose. That's what happens when you blow a hose. Good thing you've got American Hose and Supply saved in your contacts. And for those who don't, put them in right now, 580-303-1123. 580-303-1123. Go to Those Who Know Hose inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Know where to go to keep yourself up and running. Everybody knows that distinct smell when something electrical gets too hot. Your weather forecast sponsor, Carter Electric, says do not just let that keep going. Electrical fires happen, especially in older houses and other buildings that were built before the modern technology age, but any house really. Carter Electric doesn't have to tear up your whole place. They have infrared scanners that can, and a level 1 certified technician that can detect those hot spots, go right in there, fix it before they short out and catch fire. Commercial and residential uses alone can save thousands and save lives. Fully licensed and insured, Carter Electric has the equipment, personnel, and experience to handle any electrical job 24 hours a day. So if you're smelling that distinct smell when something electrical gets too hot, do not ignore it. Act upon it. You'll be glad you did. Carter Electric's also an authorized Generac generator dealer. They can size it, install it, come back and service it for you. Licensed, insured, trusted. It's Carter Electric, owned and operated by Kervin and Mary Orgain. 217 West 12th Street in Elk City, or call them at 225-2447, 225-2447. You got some good weather forecasts coming up. I mean, are golfers going to be able to get back on the golf course around Sunday?
It depends on how well they adapt to the cold. Let's see. Today we are sunny with a high near 48, light and variable wind becoming north-northeast 8 to 13 miles per hour in the morning. Winds could gust as high as 20. Tonight, a slight chance of flurries between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 9. Wind chill values as low as 0. North-northeast wind 10 to 14 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. Saturday, sunny with a high near 30. Wind chill values as low as -2. North-northeast wind 6 to 9 miles per hour becoming south in the afternoon. Sunday, sunny with a high near 55. Southwest wind 7 to 9 miles per hour. Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 60. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 57. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 54. And Thursday, sunny with a high near 60.
Whew, you are getting back up there.
I am.
Golf course opens after 42
40,
degrees
yeah.
above. Yeah, that's it. Here's some energy news in my briefs. Bloom Energy has signed a 20-year offtake agreement with a subsidiary of AEP, American Electric Power, the mothership to PSO, to supply solid oxide fuel cells valued at $2.65 billion. The company also announced a new partnership with the Brookfield asset management team focused on delivering on-site power solutions for AI data centers worldwide, reflecting rising demand for reliable non-grid power. GM, General Motors, their shares jump after the EV write-down, strong cash flow. General Motors shares surged nearly 9%, adding more than $7 billion in market value after the automaker reported earnings, while GM disclosed a $7.6 billion write-down tied to its electric vehicle strategy. Investors reacted positively to strong cash generation, increased shareholder payouts, and a confident 2026 outlook. How'd you like to be that guy or those people that said, hey, yeah, we need to really put a lot of money into this EV stuff. Everybody in the world is going to start buying them. Yikes. Colorado targets heat pumps for low-income households. A Colorado Council of Local Governments plans to invest $200 million in federal clean energy funding to expand access to electric heat pumps and efficiency upgrades for low-income residents, aiming to reduce utility costs and cut emissions. The colder place you live, the less those heat pumps work. That's just been my opinion. Is they grab whatever heat's out in the air, and maybe when it's 0 or below, there's not a whole lot of heat out there in that air. ConocoPhillips presses ahead on Alaska drilling. ConocoPhillips said it will continue oil and gas exploration drilling on Alaska's North Slope, even after a contractor's rig toppled in one of its fields. The company indicated the incident would not alter its longer-term development plans in the region. Would people think that rig tipped over and they're going to just stop? Don't think so. Here's something from around the world. Ukraine faces severe energy strain. Really? A senior Ukrainian lawmaker warned that plunging temperatures and a heavily damaged energy infrastructure battered by Russian attacks will make the coming weeks particularly difficult for millions lacking reliable heat and electricity. Kazakhstan oil output recovery slows. Kazakhstan's Tengiz Oilfield, the country's largest, is expected to restore, less than half of normal production by February the 7th, as recovery continues following a fire and power outage, according to sources cited by Reuters. Canada EV imports raise industry's concerns. General Motors CEO Mary Barra said Canada's decision to allow imports of up to 49,000 Chinese-built EVs annually poses a risk to North American auto manufacturing, highlighting growing trade and industrial policy tensions. I tell you, Canada, you crawl in bed with China, and for long, it's their bed. Hello. Chinese automaker Chery has launched its first battery electric pickup truck under the Rely brand, with prices starting at 127,800 won. That's about 18,300 American dollars. And topping out with 158,000 won for higher trims, so a little over 20,000 bucks. Yeah, I can see a whole lot of these cowboys out here wanting to drive a Chinese Chery truck. You know what I'm saying? I'm already picturing it in my mind. What do you got over there as far as energy stock prices? Are you still got good news?
No.
What the
there's
crap,
more
girl?
red today. See, American Electric Power is down 61 cents, trading at 118.63. Apache is down 8 cents at 26.18. Baker Hughes is down 85 cents at 55.89. ConocoPhillips is down 54 cents at 102.26. Devon Energy is down 27 cents at 39.67. EOG Resources is down 77 cents, trading at 111.29. Expand Energy is up $3.28 at 113.23. General Electric is up $4.35 at $303.08. Halliburton is down 3 cents, trading at 33.34. Helmerich & Payne is down 53 cents at 33.13. Liberty Energy is down 67 cents at 24.65. Occidental Petroleum is down 50 cents at 44.92. OG&E Energy is down 32 cents at 43.15. ONEOK is down 48 cents at 78.05. Phillips 66 is down $1.64, trading at 142.48. Sandridge Energy is up 3.5 cents at 15.71. Schlumberger is down 42 cents at 48.02. And Williams Companies is down 17 cents, trading at 67.05.
The commodity prices, they're all green now. West Texas Intermediate trading up 32 cents at $65.74 a barrel. Brent crude oil in the ICE Futures Exchange out of London up 10 cents to $70.81. Tocom crude oil out of Tokyo up 1,090 yen per kiloliter. And New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas up 15 cents, trading at $4.06 per million BTU. That's good stuff. Like I said, there's a whole lot of geopolitical pressures. I mean, the weather has definitely had a factor and, an effect on the oil and gas prices. Here's what we have as far as Big Elk TV. Big Elk TV goes back to work tonight. Bethany comes to Elk City. Girls tip off at 6:30 p.m. Boys following at 8. Coverage on BigElkTV.com. That's tonight. Bethany. And then, Paragon TV. ParagonTV.com. 8 School Strong. Here's what we got going tonight. These are all 6:30 tip-off times for the girls. Hammond at Merritt. Canute at Sentinel. Cheyenne Raiden at Arapahoe Butler. And Blair versus Eric at Sweetwater. That's all tonight at 6:30 on ParagonTV.com. Saturday, we've got a couple events happening. It's the basketball festival taking place in multiple locations at the Hennessy Eagle Dome. Merritt plays Wellston. Girls at 11, boys at 12:15. Canute plays Paul Huska. Girls at 4, boys at 5:15. Also, as part of the festival at the Enid Stride Bank Center, Hammond plays Cashin girls at 4, boys following at 5:15. Also on Saturday, the Lady basketball will be at Altus to make up the games that were postponed for the Tri-County tournament. The Lady boys are scheduled to play Hollis around 4. The Lady girls are scheduled to play Navajo around 5:20. And those game times are tentative, but they're pretty much locked in now. They were tentative back when the weather was more of a factor. TJ, anybody that wants to make their business grow, they can call you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right here at the station.
Yeah. I had another FFA sponsor yesterday.
I saw that. Overachiever.
Well, pretty easy sell out here for the Future Farmers of America. Great organization. I often tell that I was in the FFA when I was a kid, and we had a dairy farm about 3 miles outside of Harrisonville, Missouri. And I had this little sign that was a metal sign that says, chapter farmer lives here. And it had a little place where you took some stick-on letters and put Shawn Wilson. Okay. Then my little sister comes in a couple years behind me, and she becomes the state treasurer for the FFA. She gets a billboard out there by the road, and I'm like, really? I took my sign down. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be dwarfed like that. But I was proud of her. I mean, that was pretty cool for her to hold the state office.
Absolutely.
They dang sure weren't going to put me in there as treasurer. I can tell you that right now. Okay, I think that's going to finally get us going. Let's see here. Let me do this. And let me do that. We appreciate you listening to the show today. Sorry about the technical difficulty. I'm going to try to get into the doctor, see if I can't get something prescribed that my insurance company won't fill. What? Anyhow. Try to get myself back up on the top of things. TJ, thanks for coming in, girl.
Always.
All right. Enjoy the weekend, folks. Be safe. Pray for our nation. We definitely are in need of it. For all of our great sponsors and TJ, I'm Shawn Wilson. Thanks so much for listening. I promise we'll talk again. Have yourself a great day.
This is KECO